Does Odell Beckham Jr. make sense for the Cincinnati Bengals with Jamar Chase injured? We'll discuss the pros and the cons right here on Cincinnati Bengals Talk. Hi again, everyone, and welcome in to CBT Cincinnati Bengals Talk. I'm James Rapien of allbengals.com, and we did an entire video on potential free agent options, on trade candidates that you could check out right here on CBT. So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for the latest news ahead of Monday Night Football and the latest news on how the Bengals are going to potentially try to make up. I'm not even going to say replace because you can't replace Jamar Chase, but make up the void and try to fill at least some of the void that Jamar Chase leaves behind as he continues to recover from a hip fracture that is going to keep him out for 4 to 6 weeks. But who knows? It could be longer. And that's the part of it that we probably won't have a clear picture about, but it certainly ties into Odell Beckham Jr. Because if this was just fully healthy Odell Beckham Jr., I would 100% say sign me up, because he's a guy that can impact opposing defenses. Bengals fans saw it firsthand in Super Bowl 56 before he got injured, and there's been a lot of reporting about that ACL, that the first surgery did not go the way they had planned, in that it was kind of known, and it was an unspoken thing that it was going to happen again, and it happened again in the Super Bowl, unfortunately for Beckham. But apparently the second surgery went as the plan, and he's going to be able to make a full recovery. And that's how ACL surgeries in this day and age usually work. And so the first thing is first here when it comes to signing Odell Beckham Jr. and potentially doing that and reaching out to him. If you're the Bengals, can you do that and then get him on the field sooner rather than later? Now, there are conflicting reports about Odell Beckham Jr.'s timeline. Dan Graziano of ESPN reporting that Beckham might need to wait a while longer to play, and teams might need to wait on him a bit longer. Two team executives familiar with the Beckham situation told Graziano that the realistic time frame for Beckham is to be recovered from his knee injury in mid-December. So that's much different than what Ian Rapoport reported when he said that he's targeting Beckham is the middle of November as a potential return. So if it's middle of November and you think you can get him back maybe after the bye week and get him in the mix, well, then the Bengals should be in on Odell Beckham Jr. I'm not going to run from it. I'm not going to hide from it. They have about $3 million in cap space. So the way you construct it, you make it a 2-year deal. You put a lot of the money into next season to get him. Look, he is a game changer, and he can work and move all around the field and work when Chase comes back. And some will say, oh, well, this isn't, a move that you make. And it is, because the Bengals are Super Bowl contenders. And so if there's a chance Odell Beckham Jr. can come back before Thanksgiving and help you and take the pressure off of getting Chase back, well, then you certainly have to kick the tires on that, because one, you don't have to give up a future asset like you would in a trade. Two, he has a rapport with Joe Burrow already, and it's a good rapport. And I think that part comes into account. Three, the way you could structure the deal is maybe you keep him around next year as well. Or maybe he's willing to take, less. I just think he's going to get offered more than the $3 million that the Bengals have in cap space. So what you do is you give him a 2-year deal, essentially. In that second year, next year, is much bigger money, and you put a lot of the guaranteed money in there to make it work cap-wise. So that's a lot of my thoughts if he's able to come back mid-November. Now, one, they know more than we do about Chase and when he could potentially return. Two, is Odell Beckham Jr., is it mid-December? Because then that changes things for me a bit, and it changes maybe wanting to give him a second year. Maybe you say, all right, let's do 1 year, $3 million, and you could come in mid-December and help us, because I think the Bengals are still going to be in it mid-December. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe things completely crumble. I think Burrow and this infrastructure with Higgins and Boyd, they're going to be able to do enough to where, if Chase can't return, at least you have a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. waiting in the wings there, where he is going to be able to return this season and contribute. I also think that the Burrow relationship is big here in the LSU tie, and the ability to say, hey, Odell, you can come here and win a title. You could come here and win this year. And yeah, I know that the Bills could sell him on that and other teams could sell him on that, but the connection to Burrow, I wasn't the guy handing out money at the LSU players following the national championship game and celebrating with the players. No, that was Odell Beckham Jr., who is an LSU alum, of course, celebrating with Joe Burrow and company. So that factor, that relationship matters certainly when it comes to recruiting, pitching, landing Odell, if they would be interested in that perspective. Now, the negative of it. He is coming off of injury. He's a big name. He isn't what he once was, even though I do think he still can make an impact. And there is going to be some level of distraction that comes with bringing in a star like that. I do think that this locker room can handle that. I do think that Jamar Chase can handle that. I do think that this wide receiver core could handle that. We've seen Odell Beckham Jr. be unselfish. It's not like he was getting 30 targets a game last year for the Rams. He wasn't. But what he was doing is he was making an impact. He made a difference in the red zone, and then he made a huge difference in the first half of the Super Bowl. So that's what you want, is just another guy that can make an impact. So should the Bengals go after Odell Beckham Jr.? I think they should. And it's dependent on a bunch of factors, including the injury, his timeline for recovery, money-wise. But to me, you make that call. You tell Burrow, all right, let's get to recruiting. Let's do this. Because Burrow's on his rookie contract. Now's the window. All right. Jamar Chase is on his rookie deal. T. Higgins is on his rookie deal. A lot of these veteran defensive players are in the second to last or last years of their contracts. This roster is going to look much different. Now's the time. Now's the time to strike. Now's the time to be interested in the Odell Beckham Jr.'s. Now's the time to try to swing a trade before the deadline. Now's the time to push the envelope, so to speak. So we'll see what the Bengals do. But to me, absolutely, you have that conversation about Odell Beckham Jr. You don't think the Chiefs are having that conversation? Of course they are. You don't think the Bills are having that conversation? Of course they are. The Bengals are competing with those teams in the AFC. They're competing for AFC titles and Super Bowls, and so they absolutely 100% positively should be interested in Odell Beckham Jr. By the way, if you want to wager on this weekend's game, Monday Night Football, it's Bengals, it's Browns, the Bengals 3-point favorites as of now, according to my bookie. Go there now and wager. And here's the thing, is I'm sure the Bengals Super Bowl odds, and in fact, I know it, they took a hit. The AFC North odds, their AFC odds, have taken a hit now with Jamar Chase out. Guess what? You can make some money now if you're still believing in this Bengals team, or you think that maybe they're going to add something before the deadline, or you think they're going to add Odell Beckham Jr. So all you have to do is go to mybookie.ag, use promo code BengalsTalk, and you're going to get a 100% deposit match. It's the double deposit bonus, baby. That's what it is with MyBookie. All you have to do is use promo code BengalsTalk, and boom, your deposit of $500 or $50 or $1,000, anything up to $1,000 gets doubled, so you can use that and make more money. So go to mybookie.ag, use promo code BengalsTalk, and do it now. Man, Odell Beckham Jr., and again, I spent about 10 minutes talking about all the other receiver options, but I think Odell Beckham Jr. certainly should be in the running here for the Bengals, and I want to make it known. I want to make it clear. And yes, there are some negatives, and there are some hurdles, from his injury to the salary to all of those things. Contending teams, they find ways to get it done. Just like the Rams did last year. They were loaded at receiver. They got it done, and it paid off, because the very next day, Robert Woods got injured. They slid Odell Beckham Jr. in there, and suddenly a luxury became a necessity. Well, now it's a necessity for the Bengals, and they need to make a run at OBJ. For Andrew Fox Miller, our channel coordinator, I'm James Rapien, signing off for now on CBT, Cincinnati Bengals Talk.